I'm here with Megan Anderson. I know it's a disappointing week. Of course, supposed to face Amanda Nunes at UFC 256. Her falling out for undisclosed reasons and injury, apparently. Did you find out about it the same time we did? I know you posted on your social media some broken hearts like you knew before we did, and then it was announced. When did you find out, and what did you find out?
I think it was about an hour before everyone else found out that my management called me and gave me the bad news. Obviously, it was not the best news to hear on a Monday morning, 5 weeks out, when you've been in camp for the last 12 weeks. But the reason that they gave us was she had a serious medical issue, which obviously I hope that she's okay. I hope that it's not life threatening or anything like that. So obviously upsetting, but it's kind of out of our control.
Now, when you were getting ready for this fight, how was the preparation different? Wasn't any different? Of course, a 5 rounder, but for a fighter that a lot of people consider the pound for pound greatest female mixed martial artist of all time, was camp any different? Was the intensity any different? I know it's COVID times, but was it any more intense getting ready for this opponent?
Um, I don't feel like it was any more intense than any other opponent. I kind of take each fight as the biggest fight of my career, and as if I'm fighting for the title, or like that. That was kind of that's always in the back of my head, is like that's the goal. So it wasn't really anything different. Obviously, intensity is going to go up when you're in camp as opposed to out of camp, but that's not going to change whether depending on which opponent you have. I guess for us, it was more of preparing for the 5 round fights. I have prepared for 5 rounds before, but I think this one was a little different for us, making sure that my cardio was like on point. But it just kind of makes it so there is like my cardio is really like it's great, and I can only build on that. So it just gives us a little bit more time to be ready, and I don't know. It'll happen when it's supposed to happen.
As disappointed as fans get, as MMA media gets about fights falling through, the biggest fight of your career, I'm like, how do you think the fighters feel? They feel terrible. What's it like to hear that the biggest fight of your career is going to be at very least delayed? Emotionally, what's that like? We know it's part of the sport, but it's not easy.
Um, there was like a mixture of a lot of emotions. I was devastated. I was upset. I was mad. Like, obviously, it's out of our control, but like, I have been training so hard for this moment, and this camp has been so long. It was a 17-week long camp. We were 12 weeks down, 5 to go. It had been an incredibly long, incredibly hard camp, and to have it kind of taken so close was hard to hear. Not just that, but on the financial side of things too. The only other fight I've had in 2020 was back in February. So this was like another opportunity, not only to fight for a world title and to get that goal that I've been working so hard towards. It's also another opportunity to provide for myself and my family. So that was kind of hard as well, but like anything, my nothing has ever really come easy for me, and this is nothing else. It's just another fork in the road, and we will. The goal remains the same, no matter whether it happens on December 12th or at a later date.
So, speaking of being in the middle of camp, which is, by the way, if people don't know, you're kind of peaking at this point. It's almost the hardest part of camp that you find out this isn't
Yes.
happening. Is there any sense of you might have an opponent in time to use what you've learned in camp, or that you'd still be in shape? Have they talked about rescheduling, anything like that?
Um, all I was told was they're looking to rebook the fight at the start of next year. And I was asked a lot of questions, and then have been asked a lot of questions if I would take an interim fight, and I would. And but the problem is there's not a lot of featherweights in the division, and I fought pretty much all of them, and they're not signing any new ones, so it kind of makes it hard. But we're kind of at a point that it's only going to be a couple months more, which isn't a big deal. So why not just wait?
Talk us through that logic. This is a debate I have with fans and other media members all the time about there's a stretch between, fighting for a title or some kind of big opportunity, and there's that dead zone where I can't go 6 months without working. What are the factors that you think about when deciding whether or not to take, as you said, that interim fight? What are the factors in there?
Part of the factors is really activity. You don't want to go too long without competing. There is really nothing else to mimic it outside of being in the cage under those environment and under those type of stressful scenarios. You can't really mimic that in the gym. There's no consequences. So that kind of really plays a big factor in it, particularly for me. But I train incredibly hard. James is an amazing coach, and we plan everything out week by week, month by month, and we've been preparing for this. I do the visual reps, all of that stuff. So even though there is like the want to fight and the want to earn money and get back in the cage, it's kind of risk versus reward. A couple months isn't going to be too much. If they came to us, I'm not gonna lie, I probably would take an interim fight, but I really don't see them doing that. I see them just waiting and rebooking it for the start of next year.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.